the vulnerabilities here. Apart from that, we'll see practicals like regarding Bobsuit. Okay, we'll see how Bobsuit work, and we also see injections. We'll discuss injections, and there we will see cross-site scripting as well, and yeah, SQL injection. Okay, so before starting with the SQL part, injection part, I want you guys to tell you about OWASP. Okay, so OWASP is what? OWASP stand for Open Web Application Security Project. Okay, and this OWASP is what? It's an organization. Okay, it's a non-profitable organization. Maybe few of you, or maybe you all know, like some of you knows about it, but just I want to make it clear for everyone. So it's a open web application security project, and it's a organization, non-profitable organization, which give us a list of top 10 attacks. Okay, so every 3 years it used to give out a list of top 10 attacks. Okay, and it not only give the list about the web application, but it has like attack for everything like APIs, mobile, IoT devices, cloud, everything. So this OAPs have the list of attacks. So how it is started, I just want to give you a brief about the OAS. So it was started in 2003. Okay, and what happened, the people from OASP, they created an application. Okay, and they made that application public. That means they release it in the internet. And at that time when it was released, lots of people try to attack it. And they the people, they started using different method techniques to attack that application. Okay, so the people who were sitting at OS, they started categorizing the attacks, like what kind of technique the attackers are using, what kind of attack they are using, the attackers. Okay, with that they made a list. Okay, with that they made this top 10 list, and the people all around the world, they attack it, and with that they make the list of top 10 attacks. Okay, for the web application. So this is how OS started. Okay, so when we talk about the web part, like web application part, we have these attacks. Like there are two lists. One list was released in 2017 and other was released in 2021. So here you can see in 2017 the first attack was injection. Okay, then broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, like these kind of attacks was there. Okay, cross-site scripting. Then 2021 again list came. Now you can see that the attacks, like positions are changed. Okay, injection was at top in 2017, and here injection came at third position. Okay, in 2017 insecure design was not there, but in 2021 insecure design added in the list. And also software and data integrity failure also added, and like cross site server side request forgery, these all added. Okay, so see, what we consider OAPs because this is what we study. Like, okay, so like for me, I consider OAS, but yeah, SAS is also good. But what I do, I personally, we consider OAS for us. Okay, so these are the attacks was there. Okay, and with this attack today we will discuss about injection. Okay, and injection, we'll see what is injection, types of injection. Then in that we'll see cross-site scripting, SQL injection, and we'll perform practicals with that. Okay, for that. So yeah, so now then first one we want to pick today is injection. Okay, so as we can see with the name also. Okay, Abhi is saying input parameter payload inject. Okay, executing malicious code into web app. Okay, Narendra is saying injecting malicious software to trap the traffic of web. Aman is saying adding some SQL queries in database input box. Okay, so this injection is like while web application works, okay, web application is working, how it used to work, like yesterday we discussed about it. We used to send request, like request used to go, request used to arrive, right? So when this used to happen, at that time what you can do, like a attacker can inject some query, or you can say some malicious script to find out information. Okay, and that information can be anything. That information can be credit card details, credentials, some password, or anything. Okay, of the target. So that is injection. So injection attack, it's a type of vulnerability where attacker what attacker can does, attacker can send untrusted data into the application. Okay, which then proceed as a part of a command on query. So yesterday when we were talking about dynamic web pages, we were discussing about application server, and then we say that application server used to interact with database, right? And how application server used to interact with database, there used to be a interconnection, a link between them, and that link is what, that link is a language, like some structured language. So that language used to manage the database, right? So here what we can do, we can inject some command or query that time. So that is what, that is a type of injection attack. Okay, so if we talk about the types of injection attacks, we have like many types of injection attacks. Like we have SQL injection, we have cross-site scripting, we have command injections, we have code injections. Okay, so in code injection, in command injection, what happen in command injection, in this injection, attacker injects systems command, okay, some command into an application. Okay, so that is command injection. Like let's say when we use there is a command, for example, rm command, it's used for removing the file. Okay, in Linux we use this rm command for removing a file. Okay, so let's say there is a command rm. So attacker inject some rm command, rm hyphen rf, okay, this command. And what happened when the attacker inject this input, malicious input, so when this command run, it delete the file. Okay, it may delete the data, right? So that is what, that is command injection. Then we also have uh, code injection. So here code injection, and attacker inject malicious code into the system. He can uh, inject malicious code in system or application, which when executed it can perform whatever, like intention, whatever malicious for thing it's executed, it will perform that. Okay, so that is code. And then we have this SQL injection and cross-site scripting. So this cross-site scripting and this injection, we will do these things in detail. Okay, so if we talk about this SQL injection is this injection, like the SQL injection is a server side attack. It's not client side attack. It will happen in the server. SQL query language is structured query language. Correct, Ganesh. It's a structured query language. Okay. So this SQL injection, it's what it is a uh, it is stand for structured query language. Okay, and it is a database language which is used for database management. So basically it will manage the database. So yesterday when we were discussing about the database, the diagram, you remember, for the database we have MySQL. Okay, so it is used for managing the database. Okay, which the web application, sorry, the application server fetch. So it used to manage that. Okay, so we have some queries. If you write that queries, the data will be in front of you. Okay, so there are some flaws in MySQL injection. So now we will see how we can exploit these flaws. Okay, so when you talk about this SQL injection, there are few steps, okay, using which we can exploit this vulnerability, this SQL injections. Okay, few steps are there. So now I will discuss that steps with you, and then we will practically perform these steps and see how we can exploit using this. Okay, so for that, before starting this in attack, we have one condition. Okay, if this condition is present, that means we can start our attack. We can start with this SQL injection. Okay, so the condition is what? Condition is there should be a variable equals to 1. So variable equals to, or sorry, variable equals to number. So if this condition is present, we can perform this test, this SQL injection. Okay, so I'll show you one website for that. So this is a website we are going to exploit. Okay, so we have to find that condition, that variable equals to 1. So right now, when I see here in this URL, I can't find variable equals to 1. Okay, this is a normal URL. So that means I cannot I cannot exploit it. Okay, because condition is not there. If condition is not meant, we cannot perform it. So I just see the page. I'll just go somewhere, like I'll go to artist and I'll see, okay, still there is no condition. I'll go to categories and still I don't find anything. Then I thought that I'll go inside this posters, and when I went inside it, I got this condition, cat equals to 1. That means variable equals to number. Okay, now I get this condition. So that means now I can perform this SQL injection in this website. Okay, so this is the first condition we got. Condition is fulfilled. That means now if the situation is present, then we can go for further steps for performing the injection attack. Okay, so now this condition is fulfilled. Now I have broken this SQL injection into few steps. So I'll discuss that steps with you now, and then we will perform it practically. So condition is fulfilled, correct? We have seen it. Now we have first step, step 1. And that step 1 is we have to break the developer code. Okay, step 1 means breaking the developer code. Okay, so how we can do that? Let's say when uh, developer have write some code. Okay, let's say his developer is writing some code, and how they used to write, like here there is some input type, okay, is there, and equals to there is some numeric value. Okay, numeric is there, but that numeric value is inside these brackets, like these inverted commas. Okay, like this. These commas are not visible to us. Okay, for us it will, if some numeric is there, it will be visible like this, but actually when the code was written, there was some inverted commas present. Okay, because it's present there, these codes are present there in developer codes because it's written in the program. Okay, so these codes will be there, which we cannot see. For us, we can see only number. So now what we have to do, we have to break this code, we have to generate a error. Generating that error is also a type of SQL injection, that is error based SQL injection. Okay, so we have to generate an error in order to see whether we can perform the attack or not. So if let's say there is a developer code and it's 4, written 4 there, if I'll add just a quote like a comma here like this, so what will happen, I'll just add it simply, but it will be like this. So now it will generate a error, and this is what we call breaking the developer code, and it is very necessary for my SQL server. Okay, why? Because doing this, it will reveal the information to us. Whatever happening in the backend, it will reveal us. So that's why we have to generate this error. Okay, so if I will generate an error here, I'll just add this and error generated. You have an error in your SQL syntax. Okay, check the manual that correspond to my SQL server version for the right syntax to use near a line. So here what happened, our information is getting revealed because of that. The information is, they are saying it's my SQL server. Okay, that means it's, we can perform this SQL injection attack here because it's reflecting us. It's showing this error to us. Because of that, we are getting information. Information is getting revealed to us. Okay, so that's why we have to perform this first step, which is breaking the developer code. Okay, this is the first step. After that, we have step 2. In step 2, we have to balance the query. Okay, so there we just like generated the error. Now we have to balance the query. So for that, what we have to do, we have to remove the error. Okay, so for that, for removing the error, what we have to use, we have to use commenting vector. Okay, commenting vectors we have to use. So in language like C++, C, Java, Pair, Python, we use these comments. Okay, to comments to outline the things. Okay, the code. And when we use these commenting vector, that means don't execute these commenting lines. Whatever line is written after that, don't execute them. Okay, so we use these commenting vectors. So we have some common commenting vectors in MySQL, but we don't use that. Okay, we don't use common commenting vector. We use custom one. Okay, so the custom commenting vectors, uh, These are not like that custom one, they are not default for any type of database. So if, like, obviously if I know, like, as an attacker, I know that I'm using MySQL. Okay, so for MySQL there are some commenting vector. Okay, so as a developer, what I'll do, I won't use that commenting vector, I'll use some custom commenting vector. Okay, so here also the developer have used custom developing vector, not like for, not for, which are not especially made for MySQL. It is for, like, we can use there anywhere. Okay, it's, these are default one, and you can use them anywhere, anybody can use it. Okay, so that's why they are custom one. So for that we have hyphen hyphen space hyphen 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 plus hyphen 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 slash hyphen. So these are the custom commenting vector. Okay, so we are going to use one of it. So the first step is breaking the developer code. Second one, we have to balance the query. And how we have to balance the query? By using commenting vector. Okay, that is step 2 we have. Then we have step 3. So now when we are talking about injecting something, okay, we are saying that we will inject, we will inject a query, or a command. Okay, so for that we need a place to inject it, right? Without a place you cannot inject anything. So now the second thing is we have to find the number of columns. Okay, how many columns are there? For that we have a very simple command we use simply order by. Okay, we'll see it practically, then it will be more clear to you. So we use order by. Okay, and we have to write the number of columns. Okay, so let's say I'll write order by 3 hyphen hyphen. Okay, or order by 4 5, like anything, I just have to make a guess and I have to write it. One thing, always remember that always start with a big number. Okay, try with a big number, and then slowly go to the descending one. Or you can do, like, you can go either the increasing order or you can go decreasing order. For me, what I do, I usually use increasing order. Okay, like I go by that. So we'll just put a number, like, let's say we'll write order by 6. Okay, and error generated, that means the rows, the columns are not 6, it's less than 6. If I write order by 4 and the error didn't generate, page comes in front of you, that means the number of columns are 4. So that we will see, okay, when we will perform it. So this is how we find the number of columns. For that we use order by. Okay, so third step is we have to find the number of columns. Once we have find the number of columns, then comes step 4, where we have to find the vulnerable column, because now we have to inject something. So for that we need a column where we can inject thing. So what if the number of columns are 100? So when you will write, okay, you have to write, like, for example, you are writing 50, and you still see that page is in front of you, no error is coming. Then you can go, like, you can increase it, you can write 60, it still is there, you can write 70, it still is there. Then you can say that, okay, let me write 110, error come. That means the column is less than 100. Then you can start decreasing it, you can write 109, you can write 108, or you can write 101, then you can write 100. So like this you have to write. Error will come, and according to that you have to change the number. Okay, so now We have to find the vulnerable column, okay, in step 4. So for step 4, what you have to do, we have to write uh, basically that column, like vulnerable column are where you can where some value is present, or you can say some missing value is there, okay, or some empty place is there where you can execute your query. You have find the number of columns, you know that there are, let's say, 8 number of columns. Now you have to find the columns where you can insult something like some query, okay. So that, for that, you have to find vulnerable column in number step 4, okay. For that, you just have to use, like for finding number of columns, you used order by, right? For finding vulnerable columns, you have to use union select all, okay. This is what you use. Then when in first step, you in the third step, you know the number of columns, so you will write union select, and you will write the number of columns, whatever, how much number of columns will be there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, like that, okay. And you'll write it, and then you'll press enter, and you will find the columns, okay. But one thing is there, you have to, for like finding the number of columns, you have to um disable the show profile, like you have to disable this, let's say here, uh, okay, that thing I'll show you when we will perform it practically, okay. So this is how you will find number of vulnerable columns using union select, okay. Just know this much. Once you find the number of columns, then you have step 5, okay, where you will exploit these columns, these vulnerable columns in step 5, okay. You will just exploit them. So for that, you will find out username, okay, you will find out database, you will find out the version and all, okay. And once you will find it, then yeah, you can add more things, okay. So these are the 5 steps we will use to exploit the SQL injection. So step 1 was breaking the developer code, okay, that was step 1. Step 2, we have to balance the query using the commenting vector, okay, that was step 2. Then step 3, we have to find the number of columns, for which we will use order by. Then step 4 is there, where we'll find the vulnerable columns, and that we will find by using union select all. Then we have step 5, where we will exploit the vulnerable columns which you have find in step 4, okay. So these are the steps we have to use in order to exploit the SQL injection. Before that, we have to find a condition. If that condition is fulfilled, then we can perform the attack. So condition is what? Condition is variable equals to number. This one I'm doing a bit different. There it's a bit different, but steps are same. I will share it. I will share the website with you, and then you can go through that websites. There are lots of articles are there. You can use it. Okay. So this is a condition. Okay. We have. So first we found the condition. We balance the query, and now we have to like use the commenting vector. So commenting vector was hyphen hyphen hyphen. We have to add. Okay. So now the query is balanced after adding the commenting vector. Okay. It is balanced. Now we have to find number of columns, okay. So for that, we have to write order by, let's say I will write 50, okay. Unknown column 50 in order, column clause warning, so it's unknown column, like they don't know column 50. Okay. Okay, that means it's either less than, it's obviously it's less than 50. Okay, now I will write 45. No, it also unknown. Okay, number of columns 45 is unknown. That means we have to go more, or like we have to decrease the number more. So now after that, I will write 30. Again, unknown column. Okay, so now I'll write 20. Let's see, unknown column. Now I'll write 10. So I got the page. That means the number of column is less than 10. Okay, so I can increase the number a bit. I can write 12. No, 12 is not. It's unknown column. So I will write 11. So I got the page. That means the number of columns are 11. Okay. So after finding the number of columns, what I have to do, I have to find the vulnerable columns. Okay. So for that, I will write union select all 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11, and I have to press enter. Okay, so after that I got this image 7 to 9. That means when I write this union select all, this number which I get here, that means these columns are vulnerable, means 7, 2 and 9 are vulnerable out of these 11. But one thing which I told you, I will tell you when we'll do practical, that I have to add, like I have to disable this one. Okay, I have to disable it. So for disabling it, what we can do, we can write anything, like we can add 1, we can add minus, anything. So I'll just add minus here and I'll press OK. So now after disabling this 4, yeah, you have to it won't used to be that long. Okay, so yeah, you won't find like very long one, but you have to write all the columns which are present there. So they are minus, like I write this -1. What it does, it disable it. Okay, and when it's disabled, we get the number of columns here 11. Okay, and the 7 to 9 are the columns which are vulnerable. Okay, so now I know that total number of column 11, 7 to 9 are vulnerable. So what I'll do, I will see the database. So let's say there is a database, there is a version, there is a user. So I'll find it out now. I want to see here the database user version. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll use these columns 2 7 9 to find it. Okay, so it's written as it is. I won't do anything. I'll just make few changes here. In place of 2, I will write database. Okay, and this column. In place of 7, I will write version. Okay, and in place of 9, I will write user. and I'll press enter. So after doing that, I got a result. I got a username accurate and the database, like this information, I got the email accurate at the rate of localhost and the version of it, which is Ubuntu version. Okay. So like this, what happened? Information, I got the information. Okay. So database name is accurate. I know that. Okay. Now what I'll do, I want to find more information. Okay. I'm using this SQL injection because I want, let's say, credentials. I want username, password, so that I can exploit the person's website, and then I can get his information. Like maybe people used to do what, they used to use shopping cart and they used to store their email, this credit card details and all. So I want to exploit it. I want to exploit the username, and then I can, so that I can get the information, money, anything, whatever the malicious intention I have. So for that we have a PHP page. Okay, information schema. For my PHP page, we have information schema. So this information schema is nothing, is just a blueprint. Blueprint information schema is there. Okay. So blueprint, like everything is present there. Okay. Blueprint, if you say there is a blueprint of a house, of a building, so that means whole structure is there. Everything is there. So that's why we have this information schema, and we have this database. And in database, this database contain tables, columns, and database like this. So this is a blueprint of it. Okay, columns will be there, table will be there, database is there. So now we have to find out these tables, columns, and then we have to find out the database. So same thing, we'll do that, like we'll find out these things in this page, like here. Okay. So I know we have vulnerable columns 279. So what we'll do, what I will do, I will replace 2. Okay. And I'll write here this column 2, I'll replace it, and I'll write table name. Okay. And for 7, I'll write 7, and for 9, I'll write 9. So I'm injecting my, like I'm writing my query here, and I'll write here from information schema. I want the data from information schema. Okay. Information schema dot tables, where table schema equals to database, and I'll press enter. Okay, so there is some error here. Okay, so enter. No, what? Uh, information schema tables. See, information schema is like a blueprint where the uh, table, column, everything is present. Okay. Why it's not? Okay, 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 okay. I need a space here. Okay, so see, when I did that from information schema, it's a blueprint. Okay, it contain everything. It contain database. In database it contain column, tables, database, everything. It goes in that flow. So from information schema, I went to a table and I got this table here. Okay, these list I got from the table. So I got artist, I got card, I got category, featured, guest book, pictures, products, users. So now from this table, what you say, what should I pick up? Which name should I pick up? Should I pick up artist? Should I pick up card, category, feature, guest book, picture, product, usernames? What should I pick from this list? Users, correct. Why? Because users contain the name of the people. Okay, their password, username, and everything will be there. So that's why we have to pick up user from there. So inside this user table, okay, we will find what? We will find out column. So now what we have to do, we have to make a bit change again. Here we have to make small changes, okay, to find out the column. So in place of table, first table was there, then column was there, right? So I'll write here table names. So in place of that I will write column, okay, column name. And from information schema dot tables, I'll change it to columns, where table schema, here in place of schema, table schema, I'll write name, and in place of database I'll write users. Okay, I hope yeah. So when I did that, I got this inside the table. We have columns, and in columns we got username, password, cc, address, email, name, phone, card. Okay, now what we want username and we want password. So I will write username and password in columns where I can write something. So here I'll use this two, where I have written column name. I'll in this field I'll write as it's written username, and in seventh place I'll write pass. And here I'll delete it because we want it from users. I'll just write simply from users. And yesterday when we were using that Wireshark, I was writing test. So see, we got the username and password, which is test. So this is how we can exploit using MySQL, and we can get information. Okay, the information could be anything. It could be username, password, credit card details, anything. We can fetch the data. Okay, so this is how we can perform it, and there are 5 steps. Okay, so I will paste a link here for you so that you can perform it later. Okay, so here is a link of Strato LE, and here you can see how you can, enumerate this injection. injection attack. Okay, using SQL injection. Okay, so this was how we can do it. Now we have a tool also, okay, for doing same thing. Like same, we will enumerate it using a tool. So here we will use SQL map. Okay, it is a open source penetration tool. Okay, and it is used for detecting, exploiting SQL injection vulnerabilities in a web application. So we'll use that tool and it will automatically process this SQL injection. Okay, so for that, let me open my Kali. So in Kali, we use this sudosu, which is super compute like sudosu command. With this, we get root access. Okay, so I clear it, and now we have to use SQL map. So it is already installed in your Kali. Okay, if it's not, you can get it from GitHub. Okay, GitHub, you'll go and you can install it easily. Step used to be there. Okay, you just have to open it and get the code and you can install it. Whole process used to be there. Okay, so just this SQL map, I'll just show you how it is. So for this hyphen h is to see what tool is there. Okay, to see the tool, what things are there in that tool. Okay, so when anything like whatever you want to open in Kali, any tool, just write the tool name and do hyphen h. It will give you the detail about the tool. Okay, what options you have in the tool, how you can use it. So here when I did that, so it gave me the detail about this SQL map. Okay, hyphen h used for help, show basic help message and exit. Okay, like that. So what we need this hyphen u. Okay, this hyphen u we use for URL because we have to paste a URL. That's why we'll use this hyphen u. So hyphen u, what this option does, it target URL. Okay, so we are going to use it. That's why I'm showing you this. Then we have to use mm, okay, this batch. We are going to use this batch also. So batch means never ask for input, use the default behavior. Like when we will run this SQL map, it's a long process. It's used to ask us, it's like yes or no. Okay, so if we won't use this batch, we have to answer every time yes no, like that. So when we use this batch, we don't have to answer anything. We just whatever question the tool ask, it will just automatically give the answer and then it can continue. Okay, so we'll use this batch also. Then what else we are going to use? Yeah, we'll use this dump all. Okay, it's for dump all database from the table entries. Okay, so that everything will be dumped and the things which we want, only that thing will display to us. Okay, for that we have this dump. Hyphen D means you have to enumerate the database. Okay. For database, we write hyphen D. Hyphen T when we have to enumerate the data from the tables. For that, we have hyphen T. And hyphen C capital, we use it when we have to enumerate the database from the columns. So when we are talking about this SQL injection and you know that page, we have to use tables, we have to use columns, we have to use database. So these are the options which we'll use. Okay, that's why I'm already showing it you beforehand, so that when I'll put these options, you won't get confused. Other than that, we have to use this DBS as well for database. Like we need whole database, we have to search the database. So for that, for searching the database, we have to write this DBS. Okay, so this is what we have to use. So now let's use it. Okay, so SQL map hyphen u, where is that page. So now again, we have to perform the SQL injection. So we want the condition. Okay, so for that, I'll click on poster and I'll copy this variable equals to number. So I have to copy this condition here. So in Kali, whenever we have to paste anything, we have to paste it, we have to press Control plus Shift plus C. Okay, all together. Okay, I think I didn't copy it. So we have to paste it using Control plus C V. Okay, now this link is paste. Hyphen use for URL. Now I need the database. Okay, whole database. So for that we have hyphen hyphen database and hyphen hyphen batch for whatever questions will be asked, the tool will automatically answer it. So once it started running, we got these two, accurate and information schema. Okay. So now we need a data from accurate. Okay. So again, same thing, SQL map cat like hyphen D for database. Okay. So hyphen D accurate this I have copied here. I need tables. Okay. Hyphen hyphen tables from this data, from this accurate, I need tables. So I write tables and hyphen hyphen batch. Okay. So when we press enter, we got this table again, like when we were performing this MySQL, that in that SQL injection in that page, there also we got this category: artist, cart, category, feature, guestbook, pictures, products, users. Okay. So again, we got this same thing. Okay. Now after this, we have to find the username. Okay. So I'll just write same SQL map and I'll make few changes here. So we need what? We need users, right? And we need these users from table. Okay, it's a table, and from this table, I need users. So what we can write now? We can write hyphen T for table and this users. Okay, so it will now take the data from this users, which is present in a table. And we have to dump everything other than this. So we have to write hyphen hyphen dump hyphen all. See, the thing I was saying about batch, this is the reason. Can you see here? It's automatically answering it. No, why, yes, no. So if we wouldn't be using this batch, we have to answer every time these things. Okay, we have to answer it. So that's why we use batch, so we don't have to answer it. Now see, we got the detail, we got the whole detail here. You can see as I have highlighted it. Uh, John Smith, 21 Street, the address also, username test, and test. Okay, so this is how you can do it. So now you get test, and if I'll go to that site, where is it? Yeah, and I'll just do the sign up. Obviously, but it's written here, but we have already find it. Uh, Ganesha, it's depend. Like its accuracy can be the accuracy depend on various factors. Okay, so it's not. I would say it's not 100% accurate. It cannot be 100% accurate because it depend on many factors, several factors. The accuracy of the automated tools. So yeah, sometimes it can even give false positive, false negative, like in the tools. So it's depend. It's not 100% accurate. So it's depend. And about the alternate, okay, apart from this, like we have others also. We have bub suit. We have, okay, we have no SQL map, uh, and we have Haviji. So many are there other than this tool. Okay, so uh, this is about the practical part about SQL injection. Okay, now let's discuss about its type, like the type of SQL injection. So the first one is the classic SQL injection, or you can say it's a in-band SQL injection. So it's very easy to exploit. Okay, and it use what, it use same communication channel to launch the attack and to gather the results. So what we did right now, we use same platform. From the same platform we launched the attack, and we were gathering the information also from the same platform. Okay, so that is classic one. This in-band SQL injection is divided into two part, that is error based and that is union based. So error based SQL injection, like what we did, server will send information about the error. Okay, when you are at the time of enumeration. So we were, what we were doing, we were giving the like breaking the code, and it was giving us information, right? It was giving the information that it's MySQL injection. So that is error based SQL injection, where you will get the information in front of you, and with that you can perform the further steps. Like when we were performing this MySQL injection, you can see we are getting that, okay, 50 column is not there. They are displaying us some error message, and because of that error messages, we were able to guess that, okay, it's not 50, it must be less than that, like that. So that is error based SQL injection. Okay, if we talk about the union based uh, SQL injection, union, it uses like operator, uses union operator to combine the result, like two or more selected statements are combined into a single result. Okay, that is union based. Like we were using select all, right? We use union select all, and then we combine all the results together. So that is union based SQL injection. Okay, it is a part of classic injection. Now after that we have blind injection. Okay, so this blind SQL injection, uh, okay, when we were talking about the, yeah, so this blind one, Here the attacker don't see the results of their query directly. Okay, here attacker won't see it, he won't see the result directly, but can interfere information based on, like, but it like interfere, it can know the information based on the application behavior, like how application behaving. Okay, the error messages application is showing or the response time it's showing. With that, sorry, so with the error messages or the response time, the attacker will know about it, whether it's a blind or not SQL injection. So whenever you are sending any request, okay, you are sending any data in blind, like in blind SQL, it is the data is blind, and it's blind and not transferred through the web application, or you can say the attacker is not able to see the result of the attack. Okay, so attacker, what will it will do, it will reconstruct the data. Okay, how he will he will reconstruct it, he will reconstruct the database structure, you can say, by sending some payload or some attack, and then he will observe the resulting. So it will observe the result with the behavior of the database, or you can say how it's responding, and what how much response time is taking, or what error messages it's displaying. With that, it will find out whether it's blind or blind SQL injection or not. Okay, that is blind. Other than that, one more is there, which is out of band SQL injection. Okay, this for this out of band SQL injection, it it depend on the feature, okay, that are you can say that have been enabled on the database server. Okay, so which are these the features which are enabled in the database server, which are being used by the application. So when the attacker enabled attacker enabled used when they use the same channel, you can say, like same channel to launch the attack and gather the information, then this out of band technique give the attacker an alternative. Okay, or alternative, or you can say are in French techniques, or you can say uh, in this, like in this out of band, let's say I'm an attacker, so when I'll send a query to server, okay, that make a DNS request to my domain, that's query. Okay, it will make a DNS request to my domain, and if it makes a DNS request to my domain, then that means it will also make a log. Okay, so when I'll analyze that log, I can know what vulnerabilities are there in that log. So that is out of band SQL injections. So these are the type of SQL injections we have. Okay, classic, error based, union, blind. If you want to learn more about web application, okay, if you want to practice more, there is I think many of you must be knowing Portswigger. Okay, this Portswigger, you can make your account here, okay, in this Portswigger, and here there are lots of attacks is there, okay, in Portswigger. Let me, you have to just log in here. Okay, you have to log in here, and you have to write your email password, you have to log in, and then you can use there everything is given in detail here. Okay, so here you can solve the labs, you can read about the attacks, and you can perform it practically. So basically it is helpful for your web part. Okay, if you want to make your this web part strong. I'll discuss this, but let's start with cross-site scripting first. Okay, it's already time. Okay, so now when we are discussing about SQL injections, after that we have cross-site scripting as well. So the basic difference between injection and cross-site scripting is cross-site scripting is a client-side attack. Okay, it's a client-side attack, and SQL injection is server-side attack. Server-side attack. So it's cross-site scripting. It is a type of web security vulnerability, okay, that allow attacker to inject malicious script into a web page. The web page which are viewed by others. Okay, and with these script, when these script are executed, it can lead to various attacks. Like after this scripts it's execute, it can lead to session hijacking, it leads to redirecting the user to malicious websites. Like you can even redirect the victim to malicious sites, okay, if he click on the links you provide. So these cross-site scripting vulnerabilities, these arise when a you can say user input something without proper sanitization or encoding. So simple. uh, Here also, like in cross-site scripting, the attacker is injected something malicious code from a client side, and it can do what it can, as a result, like when the script got executed, it can do many things. Like it can do session hijacking, it can even can do defacement of web pages, or it can redirect the users to malicious websites. Okay, and it's a browser based attack. It's a based attack. That means it is performed from the browser. Okay, so here also, when we are talking about the SQL injection, we have some conditions. Here also, when we talk about cross-site scripting, so we have two conditions which you have to keep in mind. The first one is you should find an input field. Okay, there should be an input field. It could be anything. It could be a URL, search box, username, password field, anything. Okay, so an input field should be there. Second, that whatever you are providing as an input, whatever you are providing, okay, it should be reflected. It should get reflected as it is. Whatever you are providing, it should get reflected as it is. Reflected as it is. So this is the two conditions you should have for cross-site scripting. Okay. So now let's see this also practically. So for that, we have a website. Uh, okay, yeah. So we have a website named testfire.net. So we have to see here that whether this website is vulnerable to cross-site scripting or not. Okay. So for that, the condition was what? Condition was we have to find an input field. Okay, some input field we have to find. It's depend on types of cookies. So there are different types of cookies, and with that, like some cookies store the data for so long, some don't. So it's depend on the type of cookies, how long the data is stored in the cookie. Okay, it's a different, like there are lots of cookies, types of cookies, and all different cookies have different functions, different work, and different you can say things, like some can store data for long, some cannot. So yeah, it's depend on that. So we have to find a search field. Here we find it. Okay, so I'll just write something and I'll see whether it will. Yeah, if it's not reflecting, that means it's not open for cross-site scripting. You cannot do, you can perform other attack maybe, but not cross-site scripting. Maybe open for other attacks. So I'll just write something. Let's say I'll write Lima here and I'll search. So it's saying no result were found for query Lima. Okay. So when I search for Lima, it is getting reflected as it is. That means this field might be vulnerable to cross-site scripting. But we will be only sure about it when we will write um our own script. Okay. So for cross-site scripting, we have to write our scripts. Right, there are scripts. Basically, we use JavaScript here because it is something which is used mostly. So we are using the JavaScript, and once we'll write the script, then we will be more sure that this field is, vulnerable for cross-site scripting. So we have a code of JavaScript. So we'll use that, and the code is, I'll write here the code. It's script slash script, and it's close. Okay. So this is the code of JavaScript. We use script tag. Okay. This is what we are going to use in the field. And if it will get reflected, that means it is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Okay. So if we have to write anything, like any input we have to give, here we have to write the input. So I'll just simply write a script. Uh, for writing any number or alphabet, we use this alt. Okay, and then here I can write, let's say, number, and I have to close it, and then again I have to write the script and close it. Okay, this is for number, and let's say I have to write some name. So for the name part, we'll use this column. Let's say I'm writing Lima, and I'll close it. So, okay, so for number, we don't need double columns, but for name, like for alphabets, we need that. Okay, so you can write anything, like you can, I'll just show you. So this is how we have to write it. Okay, so now we'll go again to the box, and I'll write here. Okay, it's already written here, so I'll just see. I write 1 2 3, I press OK, and it get reflected. That means this field is open for cross-site scripting. Okay. And if I'll write any name, so I'll use this one and I'll write something like congratulations. Let's say I'll write you are hacked, and this kind of it is getting reflected. That means it is vulnerable to cross-site scripting. Okay, so yeah, we have one more like for cross-site scripting. I'll show you something, but before that, let's see the types of cross-site scripting, and after that, we'll see few practicals on it. Okay, so yeah, that's all about the cross-site scripting part. So now let's see the types of cross-site scripting. Okay, so just I'll write here. So there are three types of scripting. Okay, cross-site scripting. The first one which we use is reflected one. Okay, so reflected cross-site scripting is what we did right now. Okay, so this one, reflected cross-site scripting is, you can say, is non-persistent cross-site scripting. Okay, it occur like in this cross-site scripting. What happened? Let's say there is an attacker. Okay, attacker being a victim, he sent some request. Okay, and in that request, the attacker sent some payload. Okay, some I write the script, I can send some payload in that. Okay, so the attacker send a payload as a part of request to the web server, and it is reflected back, right? How it is reflected back? It is reflected back in a way by which the payload you have sent, okay, the payload you have sent from the request is now in the machine. Okay, so now it's reflected back, there is a payload. So now what I'll do, I want to, let's say, attack you all. Okay, you all people who are sitting here, I want to attack with that link. Okay, it is non-persistent. Why? Because in order to attack, I should be able to execute the request from your system. Like I have sent you a request. I have to send you a request, and that request I should be physically present to execute it. Okay, let's say I use this Corsair scripting. I write some code and send that to you. Okay, to the target. You all are my target. Okay, I send it to you, but in order to execute it, you have to interact with that script, with that URL, or you can say with that input I have put in the script. Okay, so which is not possible because I have to be physically present there in order to link it, to click it, right? So what I will do, I will send phishing links. So if you will fall in trap with that links, you will click it and then it will get executed. So in reflected cross-site scripting, the attacker will send a URL containing any malicious JavaScript to the victim, and when the victim click the link, then the script is executed in the browser. So if he won't click, if the attack, like the victim won't click, it won't get executed. So that's why it's typically, if we talk about this cross-site scripting, it needs social engineering, where the attacker has to trick the victim in order to click the malicious link. Okay, so this social engineering this phishing. So what is this social engineering? Right. So attacker, what he nowadays this social engineering attack is very common. So attacker, what he will do, he will perform like he will do some social engineering. He will try to manipulate the people. Maybe he'll send like some attractive deal, and he'll send the phishing email to lots of people. If he has sent, let's say, the link to 40 people, and out of that even 5 people have clicked on the link, so it's good for him, that person. Okay, so that is reflected cross-site scripting, where the attacker has to send, okay, it by himself. Now the stored cross-site scripting. Cross-site scripting, it is most damaging type of cross-site scripting. Why? Because here the malicious script is permanently stored on the target server, in a database, in a comment section, in a message board, anywhere. So when a victim accesses that affected pages, the stored script will execute it in their browser, because something is getting stored. Okay, so whoever will visit that page, whoever will visit that comment section, that database, it will automatically get executed. So the person will get affected. On the other hand, that's why it's a persistent cross-site scripting. Okay, reflected cross-site scripting is non-persistent. This one is persistent, and it is more damaging type of cross-site scripting, because it is attacker is he's using stored cross-site scripting to inject some malicious content or file in the server if there is no input validation. Okay, then the malicious code is stored inside the application or within the database, you can say. So that whoever will open that page, that field, they will get affected with that. So that's why it can affect multiple users as the script is persistent in application. Okay, so many people can get affected with this, not like with a reflected one. Few people can get, because it's not necessary that everyone will click on the link. But with a stored one, whoever will visit that field, that you can say, um, let's say the attacker have inject a malicious script into a command field, okay, comment field. So every time a user visit that page with the command, the browser, that script will execute it. Okay, it will execute, and that's why it will affect multiple users, the stored one. So this is stored database. Now we have the last one, which is DOM based cross-site scripting. So this DOM is what? This DOM is document object model. Okay, it's a document object model. And here in this DOM, like DOM based, this DOM means like document object model is a it is what? It is a programming interface of web documents, you can say. Okay, so uh, this DOM, it represents the structure of an HTML or XML document. So as a structure as a tree of object. So it allow the scripts to interact, okay, and manipulate the content, structure, and style of the document dynamically. Okay, and this uh, DOM based cross-site scripting, it is what it is occur when the vulnerability exists within the client side, like because client is the one who are executing. Okay, so it's a client side vulnerability, so this DOM based cross site scripting occur when the vulnerability exists within the client side javascript. Okay, it's not happen from the server side code, it happened from the client side. So in this case the browser modify the uh, DOM based as user input, and then it allow the execution of the injected script. So you can say that this is advanced king of attack. Okay, so if the web application client side script write the data, okay, provided by the user to the document object model. So then what happened? The data it read, okay, the data is read from document object model by the web application. Okay, web application will read the data from document object model, and then the output of the browser. Okay, so if the data is incorrectly handled, if data is not correct, like it's incorrectly handled, then the attacker what it can does, because it's a client side you can say script. So as an attacker can, what he can does, he can inject a payload. So now that payload will be stored as a part of document object model. Okay, and now when it will be executed, when data will be read, it will be execute, like the code will execute. And this attack, it occur entirely on the client side. The server may not be aware of the vulnerability. Okay, so this is DOM, and that's why it's consider king, advanced king of attacks. Okay, so after this, let's see one more thing. Okay, so yesterday uh I think it's not this one. So yesterday I told you that I'll show you something about in Bob Suit. So let's see that, and then we'll see the queries in the end. Okay, so I'll just write ifconfig. Okay, so this ifconfig we use in Kali just to find out our IP. Okay, yeah. So here, this is my IP. I just use ifconfig and I find out the IP. We use this RP scan to just scan the network, you can say. Okay, so whatever devices are up and running within our network, it will come here. Okay, so that's why we use this RP scan. This device is up and running, that's why it came here. So I'll just copy it and I'll open in a web browser. Okay, so this is a page. Okay, so now I just want to show you how the Bob suit used to capture the request. Okay, so for that, I'll just write Bob suit. So this Bob suit is a community version and it is present in your Kali. You just have to write Bob suit and it will like open. We have the paid one also, so it's different, but this one is free. You can use it. Okay, so you just have to write Bob suit. Next, start Bob suit. So this is how your Bob suit will start. So Bob suit is what? It's a web vulnerability scanner, or you can say, and it's a security testing tool. Okay, Bubsuit was developed by Portswigger. So the link I shared with you, they are the one who have developed the Portswigger, and it is primarily used for penetration test, like used by penetration testers. It is used by ethical hackers, security researchers to identify the vulnerabilities, identify and exploit the vulnerabilities in web application. Okay, and Bubsuit is known for its flexibility and you can say its user friendly interface. So this is how your dashboard look like in a Bubsuit. So it works as a proxy also. So now we'll see how we can capture the request. Okay, to find out the passwords and all. Yesterday we did same in Wireshark, but it is a sniffing tool, and this Bobsuit is different. So I just want to show you how it works. So this is a Bobsuit. Okay, you have to go to proxy. Okay, and in proxy you can see this intercept. You just have to on the intercept. About this Bobsuit also, I'll share an article with you. Then you can have an idea like how to use a Bobsuit. The one who don't know, it's like a small tutorial, so you can have the basic idea about this Bobsuit. So the intercept is on, and now I'll go to my page, backstore page. Okay, this is just a website. Okay, and yeah, obviously it's a vulnerable website. We can do lots of things using it, but today I'll just show you that how we capture the request. Okay, so I have to register. Let's say I want to register a new account. So I'll just write here. Obviously, Pro is better because you can do many things using the Pro. With community, you some things like it's had some limitations. So I'll just write here. Let's say Ganesh, and let's say I write XYZ at the rate of gmail.com, and I won't show you the password. You will just see the password in Bobsuit. Okay, so I have written that I want to register myself. So before that, what I'll do, I'll just on the proxy here. So I'll go to the setting, manual proxy configuration. Also use this proxy for HTTP. I'll did okay. I'll do here. I'll press register. So as soon as I registered, I hope this my screen is visible. This request got captured in Bubsuit. Okay. So see, yesterday when we were discussing about HTTP methods, request method, I told you that we use post, like not me, like you all replied that post we use when we have to register something. So see here what we are doing, we're adding a data, right? We're adding a username and password in the that website. So we did what? Post. See, you can see post is there, right? This HTTP 1.1, okay, 1.1, it's using 1.1. Host, the IP of the host, the one with which we are working, it came here, okay, and see the detail got captured here. So the full name Ganesh, email xyz at the rate uh, of gmail.com, password is Tor, okay, and this role you it has a significant, like we can change it admin, and yeah, that is different. So role is you, okay, and we can change that role into admin also. It is a different type of uh, you can say vulnerability, okay, insecure, some vulnerability. I forgot the name of that vulnerability. I guess it's missing functional level access control. It is a type of vulnerability, okay. So that is, we can do that vulnerability using this, that role we can change, and then it can happen, okay. So this is how bubs would work, okay. This is how you capture the request using bubs. So for this Bobsuit also there is an article, and I'll show you that. So you can like play with this Bobsuit then. This is community version and it is there. Like even in that article you will uh, you can know how you can like download it in your system. If it's not present, how you can install it. That will be also, that will be there. Okay, so I'll show you that. Yes, so I think I found it. Yeah, so in this you can see how you can use Bobsuit. Okay, it is given in detail. So now you, if you'll read this article and you can perform it practically, then you will have idea about it. We can use a Foxy proxy as well in Kali to capture the web intercept. See, I'm sharing you this article about Bobsuit. Okay, so it's okay. So you can do other things as well, okay, with this. Uh, but we don't have like time. You can like forward the request and all, then you can even use these decoders, okay. You can capture cookies, and then after capturing the cookie you can, you know, decode it, and you can get the hash of it and everything. Like these things are possible in Bobsuit. There are lots of things you can do in Bobsuit other than just capturing the request, okay. So if I'll give show you one more thing. When we have entered in this website, I want to show you one thing before we finish the session. So yes, okay. So as we have entered in this website, okay, I have to remove the proxy. So as we have entered here in this website, so one more thing I want to show you, one more vulnerability, just because we have entered here. So that vulnerability is adore, okay, insecure direct object reference. This is also this vulnerability was also present in the OWASP, okay, 2017 it was there. So it's an insecure direct object reference. So how it happened? So I want to show you this thing in this website. Okay. So for that, we don't have to do anything. Just focus here in this area. Action equals to. You just have to focus here. So when I do home, okay, nothing is there. But when I do what's new, here it's written action equals to new. If I do sign our guest book, here it's written action equals to sign our guest book. If I write view previous, action equals to view previous, right? So like that, whenever I change things, the anything, it will reflect here. So like if I'll do my account, view previous, okay, login register. So now what I'll do, I wanted to let's to do I wanted to do shopping, okay. So let's say I wanted to buy this magic rabbit. So I click on it and I add to cart. Here action equals to add cart, okay. Now I want to view the cart, action equals to view cart. Place order, action equals to submit payment. So for payment, I'll submit it using a card. So for that, I'll use a card number, uh, 421. Okay, and the expiry, I will use 0324, although it's already expired, but let's see. Thank you for using Visa. Okay, action equals to order. Order as placed. Now, again, I want to do shopping. Okay. Mm, again, I want to do things, and this time I want to buy everything. Although I don't have money, but I just want to buy things. So I'll buy everything without money. I don't have money. So I'll add to cart. Okay. I'll view cart, uh, place order, and I'll just, I won't give my credit card here. I'll just directly write here order. Thank you for purchase 8 item at dollar 5216. So I have already purchased it without paying anything. And your I didn't pay anything, I didn't write anything, and they are saying your order has been placed. Okay. So how it happened? It happened because of a vulnerability which is present here. And that vulnerability is insecure direct object reference IDOR. Okay. And this ADOR is a type of access control vulnerability that occur when an application provide direct access to object. Here I like you have a direct access to the object like database entries files URL. Like here you can say I have direct object. I can just write directly anything in the URL. So based on that, this direct this ADOR vulnerability is there because here the you have the direct access to the object without performing proper authorization checks. So that's why it allow the attacker to access, modify, delete even the object they are not have to access, like the objects they don't have access to. They just simply manipulate the user input. Okay. So how it work in an ADOR vulnerability? Sensitive resources like data, user data, document, account, account information, everything is accessed through a parameter, okay, like through IDs or file names. And the system does not verify it. That's why it's access control vulnerability. So you access the system is not verifying it. That's why the user is authorized to view, modify, they can do anything to that resources. That is adore. Okay, like when we use Amazon, we cannot jump to objects in Amazon. We can jump, but we cannot jump like directly to the payment and then we can do. Why we cannot do that? Because for the Amazon we have third party payment, okay, third party is used for that. It don't have that, but within categories we can jump, but we cannot jump directly like payment gateway, we cannot jump it. Payment gateway is a third party there, okay. So yeah, so this is what adore is. So I want to show this one, okay. Now just the last part about the web security best practices, always use the secure https, okay. So your the data is encrypt, data is transmitted between client and server, so it helps secure sensitive information, prevent from eavesdropping, okay. Input validation. So if input validation is there, is proper validate and sanitize proper validation and sanitize all users input on both client and server side, okay. This help excuse me, yeah, sorry for that. So this proper input validation is there, so it will help preventing attacks like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and other injection attacks, okay. So there should be proper input validation. Always update and patch your softwares, your windows, your everything, like always patch with the latest security patches, okay. And use a web application firewall, okay. Implement web application firewall to filter and monitor the traffic like HTTP traffic between web application and the internet. And last one is error handling. Customize error messages to reveal minimal information to potential attackers, okay. So these are the practice you should follow in order to have a best security practices for web application, okay.